if he doesn't have time, then we need to find somebody that's gonna be able to help him out with it. Because we're doing so much work to the city as it is. We've got a beautiful downtown. We've got all these places that are fixing up. We're giving incentives for people. And then to have these properties that are next door, we can't sell houses because their properties are trashy.
You gotta understand though, part of this too is I've got one over in the southwest that I've had a couple calls on here in the last couple days that I gotta get back on. But they're after two different properties, and the one property, I've had the mayor over there, there's nothing we can do about that property. They're just gonna have to look at it. There is nothing the city can do about that.
Well, the one property, I agree with. I think I know which one
I mean, when there's toys and stuff in the yard,
Yes.
that's a whole different program.
That's the property I'll agree with you
Right.
on. That's the only one I've seen that I've had complaints on that can't have something done.
And I agree with you. I agree on some of these other ones, but like I say, it is very time consuming to do this.
I think we'll sit down with your list and we'll review through
Yeah,
that.
we'll review it, but you take
where we're at
one
with
property
things.
can take me a whole day to, you gotta research and make sure you got the property owners, not just who's living there, but the property owners, and it's very, very time consuming. Like I say, one piece of property can take a whole day, and I don't have a whole day to spend on it.
And like I said, I
Yeah.
agree. I understand that you're busy, Doug, and I understand that there's a lot of building going on. What I'm saying is if you don't have enough time to take care of these, then maybe we need to find him some help to look into these properties. Whether it be a volunteer that the city can appoint to go around and do it, or a part-time person, whatever we need to do, but something's gonna have to be done.
Some of these properties that are up for sale that have, and I don't wanna alienate the real estate family in the town here, but don't they have some obligation to, if you wanna
Maintain.
sell it, to make it pretty? I mean, I look at the one piece of property down on Fifth Avenue Northeast.
That's
down
on
there,
my
next to, just down from Boobins,
Yeah,
on the corner there.
And I did,
that makes me uncomfortable. Don't say where the properties are.
but I did have a lady in today that has acquired a couple pieces of property through the family, and she knows what they look like, and she's gonna take them down, so I had to commend her for doing that. It's,
Yeah.
What's the status on that one that's been burnt?
we'd have to ask.
We'll
Luke.
find out here in about
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, Luke
Oh,
can tell us
alright.
on that one, so.
take
I mean,
the
it's gotta be
question
getting closer to where we're gonna get a hold of it, and as soon as we've got a hold of the property, we'll send somebody in to take it down.
I wouldn't push you, Doug, I just wanna work it out.
But what I'm saying is, it's, everything is just,
Well, a
It's
lot of
time
these that
consuming.
I have on my list, Doug, are ones that have been complained about since I've been on the council.
and I understand that, and a lot of times, letters have been sent, and what happens a lot of times is you send a letter, and the people do exactly what that letter says and nothing else. Now, if you're looking at ones where there's a lot of stuff on the porch, there's absolutely nothing you can do about that, because that is on there, in there, and
These aren't porches.
But what I'm saying is, some of the complaints are, they look at those porches and say, my goodness, and there's nothing we can do there.
That was a Waterloo or Cedar Falls ordinance, wasn't it, Luke? With the porch was part of the house, sort of an argument.
I'm not familiar with that particular ordinance.
I thought that your compatriots.
And there's a lot nowadays, right now, that they look bad because the grass is so dry, but the weeds are growing up, and you really can't go out and mow that. The weeds are just as dead as the grass is, but, and I realize that.
Yeah,
So
and-
you have to
and-
overlook some of that.
Some of that's where we're getting now, people say, well, the weeds are, well, I know they are, but it's hard to, just tell them to go out and mow off their weeds, and
Yeah. So
Probably do
that
more.
part we can oversee. But anyway, if I can get that list, like I'm asking for, of
I
the
can
people
give you-
that you've sent letters to, the dates that they've been sent, and any personal contacts that you've made with them.
yeah, because I keep all current, now well, there's been a couple of them, I guess, I've made personal contacts with. Well, the one, there again, it's my fault again, it's just like this house up here is, I trust people. When they tell me they're gonna do something, I believe they're gonna do it. Well, obviously, I shouldn't trust people the way I do.
And that's not a bad thing to
Right.
trust people, but,
But
you know,
they tell me they're gonna do something that doesn't get done, and then it makes the city look bad, makes me look bad,
yeah.
so I do agree with that rule. But I've got, files of all the letters that have been sent to different people, so.
Okay.
shoveling and mowing and all that stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Doug.
Stay there, Doug.
Well, I wasn't done. I
No,
would just
that's-
like the,
That's why I said stay there.
okay.
I didn't
I would
think you were
just
done.
like a, comment from the chief of police on the condition of, or the search for the boa constrictor, or the python, I'm sorry. Boa, there's a big difference there, sorry about that.
I'm sorry, Doug, I thought there was more
No,
houses.
no.
Okay. We've been actually up to the neighborhood on a couple of occasions and searched for it ourselves. Going around even with one of the neighbors there who volunteered to assist us as well. And we searched high and low for this supposedly and what is termed as a ball python is actually what it is, not a boa constrictor.
Yeah, I didn't mean that one,
Okay.
sorry.
All right, okay. And the ball pythons, my understanding is in talking to the people who have these as pets, and they do value them as pets just like a dog or a cat or anything else, okay? And another thing, our city ordinance does not has no address to any type of these type of animals in the city, okay? That's what the city code does not address them. It addresses some dangerous animals, and it has some specific definitions and specifically identifies some, but it does not identify any type of a snake whatsoever as a dangerous animal in the city limit. It says the city council may designate as such if they choose to do so, but at this point in time, has been no designation as such.
Well, from my research that I did on the python, they don't eat small animals and they won't injure children or anything like that. So there's no concern there, is there?
No, we don't feel there's a concern
Okay.
at this time. And the one that supposedly possibly escaped from this house, and the homeowners aren't even certain it has escaped from their house. It could still be in our house. We just haven't seen it for, they said,
They
for
don't
about,
put it in a cage?
for about 3 months. Okay. Well, and to be quite honest, I was naive when I first talked to them, and I asked the question of a description and everything. Well, would you like to see one? Sure. Well, we got another one. I'll bring it out and show you. And they were they brought it right out. They showed it. They were handling it, caressing it, if you wish, or whatever. It was just like a pet. Really, it was a household pet that they valued, and the description that has been received from a particular resident in that area does not match the same snake that they brought out of their house. They look totally different colors. The description that we're receiving as to the actual color of this, what's considered to be a ball python, that everybody says it has escaped from this residence. Okay. That being the case, but we've been up there a couple times. We've also acquired phone numbers from people who are willing, if it's ever seen or whatnot, we'll be happy to come and get it. Okay. Even the next door neighbor, I'll be happy to come over and pick it up for you. No problem. Just give me a call when you see it. I'll be happy to. The problem is nobody is seeing it anymore. And my guess is with the dry conditions, they have to have water. I mean, their food sources are with water. Small fish, minnows, small birds, that kind of food source. Even small mammals, very small mammals like mice, rodents. That is their food source. And so they're going to gravitate to water. They're not going to like these dry conditions. They travel with water. I mean, they travel
So they could
well in water.
They could be down closer to the river now.
Could be close to the river. Might get probably gravitated to the creek because these houses are right
Next
no
to
more than a half a block or a block away from the creek. I would have thought it would have gravitated there, but who knows? Whether or not. We had a report just a couple weeks ago that these individuals saw it again near a dog pen at their residence, and of course we went up and looked all over for it. And they had somebody else. They called a number, one of these numbers of an individual who volunteered. Hey, if you see it, let me know. I'll come. And they went out and they looked all over too. They could not locate it. So if we get further reports on it, we're more than happy to go out and look for it, see if we can't catch it, and we'll take it out and we'll either find some kind of a sanctuary for it if we ever find it. Okay.
Don't the homeowners want it back?
If it is that one, they don't know it's the same one that
I
everybody's
see.
reporting. I mean, what we're being reported to is different color than what they have.
Okay.
The ball python's a black and brown. I mean, it is a black and brown. What's being reported to us is a bright green and a dark green. Two different colors. And whether or not it's the same snake or not, we don't even know at this point in time. Or whether it's a bull snake, or whether it's a large garter snake, or whether it's some other kind of snake that's in that vicinity or whatnot, other than this ball python that supposedly escaped from this residence that we're not even sure escaped from the residence.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Does that answer your question?
That does answer my question, and
Okay.
I think it gives the citizens a little bit more information.
Okay. Yeah, but if anybody should happen to see it or whatever, don't hesitate. Give us a call. We'll come up and we'll try and locate it and capture it.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Randy.
I wish you'd do something about the ferrets in town too.
The ferrets.
I saw an article in the paper where the ferret is the #2 prestige pet in New York City.
Very
I
well
can't
maybe.
believe it.
I don't
Ugly
know.
little things. If
Little
you see
weasels.
any, shoot them.
Small weasels.
Are they just a weasel?
It's a
They say
monster.
they don't bite and stuff. They're
Well,
not.
they can. They can.
This article said they weren't hostile.
They can.
Peter.
They will
Man
defend
alive.
themselves.
They're mutts.
That was not a consensus of the.
No, it definitely was not.
You meant take a picture, right? I mean, that's what you meant.
That's all I had, Carl.
They don't have to shoot them.
Thank you, Arletta.
Could the python
Thank you,
chase
Andy.
off the killer Chinese geese problem we had last year?
That'd be a good idea.
Only be so lucky.
I don't have that expertise. I don't know.
Dick?
Yes, I had the same. I've had the same problem. That's why I wanted you to stay for, Doug. You don't have to. I counted them up. I think 7 calls on property complaints. And the thing that Steve helped me with, and I believe you got a copy. I went and got the ordinance, on property, and it doesn't give you a whole hell of a lot of help. You have to almost block a river or a street or something. But I don't know. Maybe we need to look at that ordinance, the ordinance committee, and I almost called the league, and I almost asked Steve to do it, but you got enough to do. But I'd like to see if any cities try to deal with, what we used to call a nuisance. We had a nuisance thing one spring here when you were still at the hardware business, and they did